Hi everyone, welcome to tutorial series about pandas where we are studying data science. In the previous video we have taken a look at group by clause. Now in this video we are going to understand how do concatenation works. So whenever we have different data frames, how do concatenation works. So let's get into the details now. So there is a support in pandas which is called as concat. So pandas.concatenation. That means you want to basically have, when you have two data frames, then you want to concat it. So concat can be simplified as something like an appending. The way in which we have uh, rail coaches, so they are basically, if there is a coach AC1, AC2 or S1, S2, so S2 is basically appended to S1 like that. So the concept is the same. So where we basically are trying to make use of a concatenation. That means concatenation functions is going to perform concatenation operation along a particular axis. So it can also perform the optional logic. The logic can be a union or an intersection of the indexes on the other axis. That means if you have the data that you have and it is spread in multiple axes, then you basically can perform the optional set logic like union or intersection. So whenever the concatenating all the series along the index, that means axis is equal to 0, a series will be returned. When objects contain at least one data frame, a data frame will be returned. When concatenating along the columns, that means you have axis is equal to 1, a data frame will be returned. So that means now you have two cases where, or rather you have multiple cases where as part of the return which we need to deal. So that will be across, that will be with respect to the axis. That means concatenating all series along the index and the concatenating along the columns. That means when we have axis is equal to 1. So in that case data frame will be returned. Then there is an LOC attribute or a lock attribute that is called. So pandas data frame dot lock attribute access a group of rows and columns by label or labels in the given data frame. So we will see this as part of the demo. So using concat functionality, you can concat vertically, then you can retrieve a subset of data, then you can concat horizontally, you can combine, you can join data frame with series. So this is what in general activities can be done as part of concatenation. So let's go to Jupyter and try to understand this functionality in detail. So we have imported pandas as PD. So we will first create two data frame. So that is what we are going to do now. So we will first create a data frame related to the Indian climatic condition or a weather condition. So this is the India weather data frame. Then we are going to create a data frame related to the America or US. So there we have taken few cities of US and then we have noted down temperature and humidity data. Now these are the two data frames. So one is India weather, another is a USA weather. Now we are going to do processing, that means we are going to do concatenation here. So we are going to create a combined data frame. So it is like a union. So you have this function called concat. So pd.concat, because pd is the object. So import pandas as pd. We know that we are using it. So pd.concat and then just pass as basically India weather comma. So you basically are passing it like a list. So it's a concat row wise. So row on row, and then you can basically you are going to get the combined one. So now we can take a look at it. So here this is the India, so Mumbai, Nagpur, Bangalore, then followed by New York, Chicago and Texas. So it's like concatenating row wise. Then you can basically index. If you can ignore the index, then we can just do that. So here you have, once again we have taken the two data frames, India weather and USA weather, and then we are concatenating. So here we are basically ignoring the index. So here we can see the difference. Here we have this Mumbai, Nagpur and Bangalore, then New York, Chicago and Texas. However, we didn't bother to take care of the index. So that means now here the earlier was 012, then 012. So this index was retained. However, now it is just a sequence or a continuous index. So you can see this 0 to 5. Then we can basically create an additional index for subset of data using the keys. So the keys now here are India and USA. So these are the two keys that we are going to create for these two data frames. So you can see, so this is like an additional index. So apart from that, the 012, 012 like that we already know. So now that means the index India corresponds to this information, and index USA, that means the key USA, corresponds to this particular information, or that. So these are the keys. So these are the user defined keys. You can give the name that you wish. So here it makes sense to give the names of country. We can always give K1, K2, or whatever the keys that you like. Then you basically can retrieve the subset from the combined data frame. So again the key is here India, because we have given the key as India. So if I just say df combined dot, so you see here I am working on combined. So combined dot lock, so lock is going to give me that specified data frame or a subset of the data frame. That is what I told you in the slide. So now I got the information related to the India. Similarly, I can do lock on and you pass the key as USA. So I am going to get the USA temperature data. Then I am going to do appending side by side, because earlier appending was row by row, row wise. So let's now try to do that. So we are basically have created a first data frame which is called as a temperature data frame, where we have a temperature of 3 cities. Then second data frame is a humidity data frame for the same cities and the humidity information. However, now we want it side by side. So let's try to run this first. So here we can see it is a city followed by temperature, similarly city followed by humidity. Now this can be kept side by side. Why? Because the cities are common. Now it's more like just putting it column wise, or you have the column. So here now we are going to append it. So again we are doing pt.concat these two data frames, that is temperature and humidity, and here now we are saying axis is equal to 1. Why? Because we want to append horizontally and not the row wise. So here you can see city temperature, city temperature. Now here the trouble is city has came 2 times and it has just appended side by side or horizontally. Axis is equal to 1. So we can now here what is happening, if the names of the city in both the data frames are not in the order, then append side by side cannot be done. So use index so that concat happens properly. So here the concatenation did happen in our this particular line 17 in 17. However, it has duplicated. City has come again and again. So we are just creating the once again the data frame for temperature, and then we are creating the data frame for Nagpur and Mumbai. So here we have less number of information, and now we are just trying to print that. Now we want to combine it. So here once again we are combining it. So here what is happening now, the third one, that is because there is no Bangalore in the second data frame, so it has become NAN. Now let's try to create once again a data frame, second data frame, and now here we are telling what is the index. So here now you can tell we are telling, note how index is passed to match the first data frame. So now here this particular thing will be matched, because now here you have Nagpur and Mumbai. So here now the index is passed as 1 and 0. So that means Nagpur will correspond to the first index and Mumbai will correspond to the 0th index, and that information is passed as part of creating the second data frame. So since we have created this second data frame, now if I try to basically concatenate, so I am now going to have the in a sequence, that is Mumbai, Nagpur and followed by Bangalore, which is NAN. Earlier it was wrongly done. Why? Because you can see Mumbai, then Nagpur, and here Nagpur, Mumbai. So it was unreadable in the line in IN21. The output was unreadable or not comfortable. So now here the output is basically very comfortable. Let's now try to create another data frame where we have passed the index 0, 1, 2, and then we will basically now we are using a series. So we have a series where there is only a humidity information, and here in this we have already passed the sequence information, that is index information 0, 1, 2. Now this is a data series where there is a humidity information and then the name is the event. So let's now create the series. So here you can see series is 0, 1 and 2. So humid, dry and rain. Okay. So that is what basically name is event, and we have done that. Now here we have already created temperature df. Now we want to join. So what we can do is we can basically say pd.concat and axis is equal to 1. So temperature data frame and the series. Now here the output obviously will be a data frame. Why? Because we are adding a data frame to a series. So series is now added. So now you see how the series is added. So event is given the name of the column, and then the temperature is automatically part of the data frame, and now to it we have added the series. So that is what we basically have seen it. So we have added concatenated vertically, then we have retrieved the subset of data, then we have concatenated horizontally, so that we have done, then we combined it, and then we have joined the data frame with the series. So that is what we have seen as part of this video demonstration. So just to summarize, we have seen in this both these videos, that means the previous video we have seen the group by clause, in this video we have seen the concatenating of the data frame. Just an additional piece of information, there is a shortcut to concat, it is called as append, and append also can be used. So that's essentially about the group by and the concatenation of the data frames. Thank you.